You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird. People hasten to judge in order not to be judged themselves. Albert Camus, The Fall. Do you think that where you grew up and your family background influences your values and judgment? Why?
Of course it does, because as a child, you're molded by your surroundings and the people around you's personality rubs off on you, and so you take their values.
You pretty much follow in your surroundings' footsteps in a way.
Yes, because sometimes the society that you're surrounded with can have kind of a similar thought process and what they believe is right and wrong, and that kind of instills the morals in you from an early age. So
yeah, definitely. I think that where you grow up and depending on what neighborhood you grow up in and depending on what part of the country, like north or south, the way you look at things is going to be different, obviously.
Yes, I do, because the people that you live around, the people that you're always around, they're going to influence you, especially when you're younger. So, yes, your surroundings do influence you a lot.
In To Kill a Mockingbird, what are some cases of this?
well, growing up in the South, definitely in the time period when there's all these people around you who are trying to condition you into a way of thinking, the people who are racist and they're trying to condition you to think that that's okay, then that definitely is going to influence your perception unless you have a really strong character.
Well, because they live in the South, they get all the segregation, racism down there, and that's all their experiences are, is racism. So then the young children at a young age just catch on to this and continue it.
Well, To Kill a Mockingbird is set in 1935 in the South, and during that time there was a lot of bigotry and racism against blacks. So some cases of that would be, living in the South, being around all those people, when you're growing up, you're going to be influenced and probably have those same views as your parents to show discrimination against blacks.
Well, To Kill a Mockingbird, there's a town in Macomb County, there's a whole town of racist white people, and so when the case of Tom Robinson came up, everyone kind of joined against Tom Robinson, except for Atticus.
Who in To Kill a Mockingbird is a victim of people's criticism and judgment?
Boo Radley.
Yeah, because I didn't know what to say after that. I was going to say Boo Radley. I was like, oh.
Boo Radley. Okay. Because no one ever really sees him. He lives in the house by himself, and so everyone just perceives him as this big scary man who's a killer or something. But in reality, he's not. He just doesn't come out to the public.
Tom Robinson and Boo Radley.
Boo Radley is because they just judge him, they don't even know what he did or how it really happened, and they just judge him because he hides in his house all the time, so they don't really know anything.
Well, the easy choice to say would probably be Tom Robinson, but I'd say Boo Radley also, because on the first page of the book they mention him about breaking into his house or whatever, and throughout the book he's kind of portrayed as some creepy criminal guy, neighbor, so that kind of, there's judgment on him that shouldn't be there, and later in the book he comes back and saves the day. So
Is it easy nowadays to sort of go with the flow and agree with the norm, or is it harder?
I think it's easier to just agree with everyone because then you're not judged on your opinions. And if it is out of the norm and it's really odd or strange, you won't get discriminated against because of your ideas. So it's easier to just go with the flow and kind of blend in with everyone else.
It's easier to not go with the flow because back in older times, it was definitely harder to stand up for something that you believed in and break away from what was traditional. And it's definitely easier today when people are saying, speak your mind, tell people your ideas. So.
A major factor in To Kill a Mockingbird was discrimination of African Americans and the social inequality. Do you think that inequality in some ways still exists?
Definitely. I mean, like, just the way people judge you for what you look like or what you are. Like, if you're gay, like, they're gonna judge you. If you look a certain way or like you dress a certain way, everyone's gonna judge you without knowing, like, getting to know the real person. That's
Yeah, obviously inequality still exists all over the world, and not just in, against races, but like political leanings or sexual orientation, religion. There's always going to be inequality.
Definitely. I think it's something that we want to think doesn't exist, and so maybe we won't publicize it as much, but I think it's something that still happens, in minor ways. And I think, we should never stop trying to end that.
Well, of course it does. The gays are judged by like their ideas of everything, and they are pretty much just kind of like ridiculed for being who they are.
Amen, sister. Okay.
Have you ever stood up for what you believed in even though it wasn't popular?
No, not really. I can't really think of anything like that.
Sure. There's always, like, instances when you're little when, somebody is, like, being treated rudely by other people and you don't understand why, or, why it's okay or why it's funny. So.
I have. It's just like little things that, like when somebody's getting picked on, or it's just something tells you in your mind that's not right. You go in there, hey, that's not cool. You shouldn't do that. Just kind of like little things like that, or if some of your friends are doing something that you don't agree in, and you're just like, no, I don't want to take a part of it. Then it's just like little stuff like that.
I think so. I feel like I have. People kind of judge me for like all the time, but that's okay.
Like
I just
today.
kind of like.
Like today with your hair.
Hey, Megan dyed her hair.
Oh no, actually, it was last night. It is not last.
Last night, and
Are people
way better brown.
are people judging you?
Everyone is just like, oh my god, she dyed her hair. That's good.
But you don't care?
It's whatever. It's like
Not the norm, brown.
See, Joni is one of the judgers.
she judges me all the time. She's laughing right now.
Freedom means you are unobstructed in living your life as you choose. Anything less is a form of slavery. Wayne Dyer.
Cannot hear it, something exciting is gonna happen. Don't wanna share, don't wanna show.
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.